Alright, let's sync up.
That was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was. There we go. Okay.
Perfect.
There's our sync. That's gonna kill some ears. But,
If we even keep it in.
Fuck, I did it again. Anyway. We back. Fucking the heater just turned on. You can hear it.
Yes, we can definitely hear it because we're a lot closer to it this time.
Yes.
We completely changed the entire setup of the living room. Honestly, I like the setup that we have here. We just need to...
I feel it needs to be a little more refined now since you're closer to Jasmine's desk and I'm closer to my own.
Yeah, so you will most likely be able to hear Jasmine doing her makeup because she's having some fun over there.
She is literally, like...
Right behind him.
Like, right behind him.
She's right behind me doing makeup and, like, fucking around with all that stuff, so that looks like fun. Anyway.
So...
Just gave me, like, a questionable look. Anyway.
So I'm excited. This is episode 3. I'm doing my best to refrain from pounding on the table.
Yes, that is definitely a problem. We've changed our setup a little bit. We're trying out 2 microphones instead of 1. I decided I went out and bought my own, just so that I had a mic for when I was ready to start trying to record things. I still need to get a capture card, but I'm also thinking that I might just get an application for my computer so that I can record without needing a capture, but I will need a capture to be able to capture video on the PlayStation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but except Canyon's mic isn't as cool as mine because his mic is the blue.
Mine's the Blue Yeti Nano. So
yeah,
it's
mine's just a Blue Yeti.
Yeah, mine's the step below yours. I don't have the ability to change the gain or anything directly on the mic, but the sound quality is still nice, and honestly, I wasn't willing to fork over the extra $40 for something that will basically do the exact same thing.
I mean, yeah, it's just this Yeti's nicer because then you actually, you have more access to like different channel modes. You actually can fuck with the gain.
Yeah.
And so.
But I mean, like, you also have to take into account, because I'm that kind of asshole, the actual Blue Yeti that they had at Walmart when I went over there to look had, what was it called? Battlegrounds or whatever. It was some battle royale game that was
PUBG.
PUBG.
Jesus Christ.
Plastered all over the box, and I was like, well, that's a big no for me, because fuck that game. Anyway.
Dude, now that you said that, we're gonna try playing PUBG.
Dude, no.
No, like, for this channel, for content purposes, we have to at least try playing some Battle Royale games. I don't even give a shit if they're free to play.
I don't care about any Battle Royale games, as long as I have someone to play with. I can't play them by myself.
Dude.
They get so boring.
Especially Warzone, that shit's a pain in the ass to play alone.
Yeah, no, like, I have no problem playing any type of Battle Royale game as long as it's together, right? We're not playing Fortnite, that's for sure, because...
Yeah, no, we're not touching that. That's...
Yeah, no, I'm not 12 years old. I'm 20. I should play games that resonate with someone who's 20 years old.
Except one that is fun, I guess it's not really targeted more... Actually, I kind of have mixed feelings about, like, its whole target demographic. But, Apex Legends. I think it's great because, with this they actually add more, like... Because Apex was made by the same people who made Titanfall.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is great because when you go into this Battle Royale game to start, you can choose your, I guess, a character. Each one has different abilities. And some have, like, assault classes, some have more, like, medic classes. And it's, I guess, in a sense, it's more of a strategic kind of thing, because it's like you have to decide who do you want to play as, like, the assault, who do you want to have play as more of, like, a guardian character, that way they can tank. It kind of sets, like, an RPG factor to it, and I think it's cool.
Yeah, like, I remember a little while back I downloaded that game, because I think it was you that wanted me to play it with you.
Yeah.
We never really got around to doing that because life got in the way and we didn't live with each other, so it was a little more difficult to try and set things up. But I went into the tutorial and I played a couple games of it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. It kind of reminded me of Evolve in a sense. They released Evolve Stage 2 for free, and you were able to pick your different types of characters that have different types of requirements and abilities that would help to defeat the monster. And then you have the monsters themselves, which, I'm gonna be honest, for me at least, it's really fucking hard to win with the monster. Anyway, because people are too fucking good at that game, and I'm horrible at it. But, whatever.
This isn't an ASMR podcast. Calm down there, bud.
No, I just like that now. Since I'm really close to this mic, I can get however close I want.
You just killed ears.
I just killed my own ears.
I don't have the ability to do that. I mean, actually I do, but I have more respect for people.
I love people, but I also hate people, so they can deal with it.
But yeah, and I think Apex is in Season 7 now.
That's something I don't understand, why they release seasons.
Because each Battle Royale game, even though some are free to play, they'll try to find a way to get you to purchase their Battle Pass, which, as you level up, you can gain, items for characters, and so on and so forth. And some people grind the ever-living shit out of all that to gain all those items, so they release a new season. And with Apex, they don't disappoint. They make cinematic trailers for each new character, and each new character kind of brings a new thing to the table. I think Season 1 they introduced Octane, and Octane was a really weird kind of character to be added into that. I don't even remember what all of his abilities and stuff were. And then I think it was Season 2 they added Watson, and Watson was great because she could set up electric traps.
See, if only everyone could hear how hard I rolled my eyes. I hate shit like that. Okay?
Dude, every game is doing it now.
I know, and I hate it. Okay? You have those games that you have to fucking pay for, and they still try and pull that shit. Call of Duty. And
Dude, legit.
I fucking hate that shit.
After Battle Royale became a thing, fucking Modern Warfare only really did it because of... Well, actually, it started back in Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4, they did that because that's when... It was kind of when Battle Royale games were more exploding and Fortnite was kind of coming more into its prime.
Watch your ears.
Ow, that fucking hurt, and that just peaked.
Dude,
Jesus
oh my god.
Christ.
I can't even explain to you how bad that peaked on my end. Holy balls. I am so sorry.
I'm sorry too, because you're getting obviously two perspectives with the whole two mic thing.
Yes.
That killed my ears.
Oh my god.
But anyway, as I was saying, it definitely started back with Black Ops 4, and the only reason Modern Warfare really did it was because they made Warzone, which was their Battle Royale, which was perfect, except it felt like it kind of took some things from, Apex. And now Cold War's doing it, but now it's kind of like Black Ops 4, where you can earn more items for more your characters for multiplayer, and since the multiplayer and zombies are connected, it's kind of like a double win there. And then there's the Warzone. But what I find weird about this is you can still play Warzone, and it has a directory in Black Ops Cold War, except Warzone, you have to have that whole application downloaded to your console or whatever you're playing it on in order for it to be able, for the redirectory to really work. And it's fucking weird.
And there goes the heater again.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord.
But yeah, so Call of Duty has a Battle Pass. And I call it Battle Pass because that's really how that all started. Fortnite, PUBG, fucking Rocket League, Apex obvious. It's obvious for like games with battle royale function. Rocket League makes no fucking sense.
So you like,
And in Halo, the Master Chief Collection, that made zero sense too.
but you can't deny that Halo is great.
Yeah, Halo's great, but it was that battle pass was really cool though. I didn't really have to like buy it though. You didn't have to really pay for it, and they gave you some pretty cool items, like how you can change your visor color to in your Combat Evolved multiplayer, and you can change the skin to your weapons in each of the multiplayers. And then another battle pass was, I think, soon after Reach was added to the Master Chief Collection, and it was, and that worked more of like the kind of the progression thing, so you can earn more items for your Spartan in Reach. So like different helmets, visors, all that other stuff.
Yeah. As a lot of people are probably going to be able to notice, Elijah's a lot more knowledgeable when it comes to video games. I love video games, but you can call me a nerd, but I know more about like TCG games. This man spent so much of his life playing video games. Now, I can definitely say I've done the same, but not to his extent. He is so knowledgeable, it's crazy. Don't get him started on Pokemon, and don't you fucking start talking about Pokemon.
Too late, you brought it up.
No, don't say shit.
Okay, but we already know that it's kind of something we want to bring to the table, and it's different, kind of like Pokemon Let's Plays, and I want to try like making it fun. Like, yeah, sure, people have made it over 1 million times, but I think it would just be cool to do it that way. And so, like, I don't know, I don't really want to dive down the rabbit hole now, because that's a big topic, because there's so much I want to do with it.
Yeah, there's so much that we want to do, it's just getting the time and actually doing it.
Speaking of which, fucking Pokemon Day, February 27th, we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. It's great. And almost every Pokemon Day, they have, like, I think, a Nintendo Direct that talks about, like, what they want to try bringing into the world. And one PokeTuber I am subscribed to, he was, like, trying to ask, like, what do you guys think we're going to get the Nintendo Direct? Like, do you think we're going to get Gen 9 core games or, like, spin-off games? Because, I mean, like, two recently released spin-off games were made, but they also would probably make more just to make more money.
Yeah, like, it's a company. They're going to want to make money. That's how it always is.
And one of his other options, which is one I'm really hoping for, are Gen 4 remakes. Because, alright, so I've given this way too much thought, but it makes sense. So, you have Gen 1, red, blue, and yellow. Then you have Gen 2, which is gold, silver, and crystal, but you also have the ability to go into the Kanto region in those Gen 2 games. And then Gen 3, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, they also released the Gen 1 remakes, which were Fire Red and Leaf Green. So Gen 3, you get a Gen 1 remake. And then in Gen 4, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, they made Gen 2 remakes. Gen 4, Gen 2. And then in Gen 6, which was X and Y, they made Gen 3 remakes, which was Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, 6 and 3. So it only makes sense that since Sword and Shield are Generation 8 core games, that they would make Gen 4 remakes. And it would also be kind of cool to see what Gen 4 would look like on that engine, and with all that capability that, like, Sword and Shield has. Because, I mean, not like... I've already forgotten what that first area is that you can kind of explore, where you can actually, like, camp and whatever. I forgot what it was called, but, like, they have the ability to do that in a Diamond and Pearl remake, because they have, like, something similar to a Safari Zone that gives you that, that kind of ability to do that. And I mean, I know none of that you understood, because I don't think you've ever played a game that came before Sword and Shield.
The only Pokemon game that I've ever physically played was Pokemon Shield. I bought it when I was at tech school because they had a Switch Lite at the BX, and I didn't know what to buy. So I was like, which game can I get that I will not need Wi-Fi to download the whole fucking game? Because down there, it was what? Like $60 to get Wi-Fi. And the Wi-Fi was shit. There was no way I was going to waste away $60. I ended up doing it anyway for other reasons. But at the time when I bought it, I was like, I don't want to try and waste away my money for that. So I got Pokemon Shield. And it was fun. It was a fun game, but the problem with those games that I have is if they're all relatively similar in the way they play, that was the easiest game I've ever played in my life.
So, they're not necessarily similar because up from Gen 1 to Gen 5, there was no automatic experience share. So you actually had to do a shitload of Switch training, and Switch training is basically when you go into a battle, you have your weakest Pokemon out, and then you basically just switch every time.
You don't need to explain that. It's kind of self-explanatory from the name that you gave it.
Well, with you, that's...
Well, no,
sometimes
seriously,
you have to draw a map.
That game, they need to not make the starters as powerful as they can be. Okay? I get it. New Pokemon starters, you want to make them, desirable and actually want to make players keep them because they have some, story-esque value towards your character in the story, right? Now, yes, you're some bland-ass random character that has really nothing to them so that you can put yourself in their shoes. I get it. Games do that all the time, and I love it. But I chose Scorbunny.
So you had Cinderace.
Yes, I had Cinderace as my final evolved Pokemon for the starter, and I was like, oh my god. That motherfucker could one-shot everything by Gym 3. What is that?
Oh, it was legit called the Wild Area. So if you were grinding in the Wild Area, it would make sense.
No, literally, the amount of time I spent grinding in that game was maybe a max of 30 minutes. I maybe grinded for maybe 30 minutes. It was the experience that the story was giving my Pokemon which was making it so easy. After the grinding, right? Because first gym, it was simple. It was a little challenging because I was low level, right? So, normal story progression, I thought. Oh, this is, if every gym was going to be like this would be fine. And then the next gym, a little easier because I gained a little bit more levels. But then after that one, I went grinding. And then went to the next gym, one-shot everything. Got all that experience. Went to the next gym, random Pokemon encounters, so on and so forth. I got my experience just, normally trying to get to the next location. Then the next gym, one-shot everything. Next gym, one-shot everything. It was getting progressively more annoying with the fact that I was able to completely demolish all of these gym leaders. And I had, in the story-wise, just became a Pokemon trainer.
So
that tells you how shit these gym leaders are, if that's the case.
Well, okay, so it's not really that. So, Pokemon Origins added to this thing. A gym leader will only use a certain number of Pokemon at a certain, level based on your skill. Anyway, so fighting Milo in the first gym is actually very simple. All I had to do was find a shark beak on Route 4, give it to my Corvisquire, and dude, I wrecked shit up.
Like, that was the thing that was fun, right? I was like, oh fuck yeah, I made my Pokemon unstoppable. And I'm demolishing everyone like One Punch Man. It's fucking sweet. And then I get to the final boss of the game. Not like the final boss.
You mean the champion?
No, like the final boss of the game of Shield, right? But when I mean final boss, I'm talking about the legendary Pokemon they have to fight after the story.
Oh, that thing.
When I beat the final boss, right, it wasn't one shot, which I wasn't expecting it to be. But I also wasn't expecting to not lose a Pokemon either. I was expecting to at least have some form of challenge, but when I'm literally not having to switch my Pokemon to try and come up with a strategy, I literally just, oh, skill. Oh, next skill. Oh, next skill. Oh, I just won? Cool. Like, it gets a little boring there.
Oh, they're attacks, not skills.
Just fuck out. But then you have to take into consideration, I thought that all my Pokemon were fucking great and that I was going to be unstoppable, right? And then I try and go after that fucking sword legendary Pokemon, and literally
you were playing Shield, so you were going after Zamazenta, not Zacian.
Yeah. I already had the Shield legendary Pokemon in my party.
Oh, wait, you can't get both?
No. You can't get both. You can only get one based on which game you're playing.
Well, I know that. That's why they're version exclusives, which I wanted to bring that up. That's why I love Pokemon Sword and Shield, is because, and it's not really like all that great a deal, but Game Freak was talking about wanting to like change up like gym leaders for certain games. So like not only do you have the version exclusive Pokemon that you can find in each game, it's also in Pokemon Sword, your gyms, all the gyms you have to fight are grass, water, fire, which are the standard 3 for both games. But then I think your 4th gym is a fighting gym, and then in Shield your 4th gym is a ghost gym.
Yep.
And then you fight Fairy, and then it's your 7th gym. In Sword you have to fight Rock, in Shield you have to fight Ice, and then the last one's Dragon. And so I think that added a little more to that, because
that makes it more interesting, and that makes people want to buy both games so that they can play against all those gyms.
I only buy both games just because I just have a problem, and especially like since with like Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, like they have these 2 bird Pokemon that they have as part of the Pokedex from like Gen 5. And the only one you can acquire in Sun or Ultra Sun is a Rufflet, which is one of those bird Pokemon, and then only in Moon or Ultra Moon can you find another one, but it's flying dark instead of like normal flying, like Rufflet. Yeah. And that's probably the one thing I hate about Pokemon, and that's like version exclusives, but I also can't really complain. I mean, I try to buy every Pokemon game I can.
See, like, me being a person that's not entirely into Pokemon, I have all these little nitpicks, gripes, whatever you want to call them, for specifics. But, like, take into consideration how I completely do absolute wreck house for the main story of Pokemon Shield, right? And then I try and go after that freaking legendary Pokemon. I try and beat the sword Pokemon. I don't care what its name is. I just call it Fuckface. And
the one with the sword is Zacian. The one with the shield is Zamazenta.
So Fuckface. And literally nothing does anything to it. Yeah. None of my stuff did anything to it. And I was like, how am I supposed to beat this fucking Pokemon? No, I'm playing against that guy. You know, the rival. I don't remember what his name is in Sword and Shield. But you're facing him because he gets the sword, and vice versa with the other game. Even the Shield Pokemon could not do anything to it.
Yeah, do you want to know why? Because Zamazenta is fighting. Zacian is fairy. And fighting can't do shit to fairy.
Like, I get that, right? But even when I would completely change my setup, change my party, whatever you want to call it, with Pokemon that I think would help in facing this piece of shit, and I grinded for hours after that to try and get them up to speed so I could potentially be able to do something, and I still got my ass handed to me. And that is the kind of difficulty that I want to be able to see in the normal story. I want to see fights where if you go up to a gym, right, like in the actual Pokemon anime, Ash loses. He actually loses. In this game, I lost in the actual story one fucking time. And that's because for some godforsaken reason, I was doing the fire gym or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was a grass type was weak to fire.
Yeah.
It was the first Pokemon that I threw out. I don't know why I had my party set up that way, but the fact that he immediately destroyed that Pokemon, and the rest of my Pokemon were kind of crap, except Cinderace, I was kind of like, this is not a good situation for me to be in. Because literally how it went was, he knocks out all my Pokemon except Cinderace. Then Cinderace knocks out all of his Pokemon except the last one, and then his last one finally is able to take out my Cinderace. And I was like, fuck, you know what easily made it? Put Cinderace in the front, knocked everything out, and then the rest of the Pokemon I had, I was able to take out his last Pokemon. It was just easy tactics, and I hated it.
So the cheat I found is because, like, with Sizzlipede and its final Centiskorch, since it's a fire bug, literally throw out a rock type, fucking demolish it because it's 4 times weak to rock. And it... Except it's difficult when you try and do that in a Nuzlocke format because you don't always get what you need. And that's why you're probably going to hate for what we have planned because... I mean, I was able to teach all my Pokemon moves, and yes, they weren't stab moves, but it was still helpful.
Yeah, like, I probably would enjoy Pokemon a lot more if I did a Nuzlocke, to be honest.
Probably.
But just after playing that one game, and if any other Pokemon game is relatively as easy as that, I'd probably not enjoy it very much.
So the first 5 gens are pretty difficult because... like, obviously, there's no whole experience share. That was a thing from Gen 6 on. And yeah, it makes the game a little easier, especially when you are doing something like a Nuzlocke and you don't really want to do all the switch training to level up, like, a Pokemon you receive in an egg. Now, in Gen, I want to say 3 up, they made the experience share... an item, except it was an item that you can only give a Pokemon to hold. And I want to say it was maybe only Gen 4 or 5, because I know where to find them. I don't know about Gen 3. But that's the only way experience share was a thing. And honestly, I wish they'd kind of bring that back. But it's also... I like the direction they went with the experience share just because not everyone knew how to receive the experience share, and... it also still made it a pain in the ass because you still had to grind. And with the way the experience share worked, at least in that game, is it's not like, oh, let's give everyone at least equal amount of all the experience. It was more, whichever Pokemon was holding the experience share got more of the XP out of the battle instead of the Pokemon that was fighting.
Yeah, see, like, something I think that they might want to try is more level-based progression instead of, like, for example, right, they have set specific levels for their gyms that you face. At least in the story that I was playing. I was, like, maybe 20 levels higher than the gym that I'd be facing. And that's the main reason why I was probably wrecking fuckface, okay? But then, if they were to make it more level-based instead of story progression-based, right? So, like, let's say, like a normal person... you know Pokemon, you're probably gonna grind, right?
I don't really like... I don't have
depends on, like, how you like
grinding.
to play, right? I grew up playing, like, Borderlands, right? That game, you gotta fucking grind.
Well, okay. So, when it comes to doing that with like Borderlands, I have more of the patience to grind. In Pokemon, I don't, because like in order to grind, you just have to sit there for hours running through like several different patches of grass just trying to level up all your Pokemon, and I just don't have the patience for it.
Yeah, like that definitely got annoying. But like, just take that idea into perspective, right? With Borderlands, right? Their level up system, it's kind of difficult to fully level up in Borderlands, because normally next area you go to, how they have it set up is the next area you go to, it will be set a few levels higher than the average level that a person will be if they're just progressing through the story normally. That's how they have it, so that there's always a simple difficulty progression. But in Pokemon, they weren't doing that. I grinded for a while. Even in Borderlands, right? I was grinding and grinding and grinding, but there was still some form of difficulty, should I say, when it came to going into the next area, right? Like, if I go into an area, right? Let's say I would grind for maybe an hour, and I may manage to go maybe an extra 10 levels up. I would still have relative difficulty, not extreme difficulty, but a little bit of difficulty in the next area because they throw a lot at you at one time. So there's always that simple chance that you could screw up and die. Well, not really die, get knocked down, that fun stuff. Because Borderlands, you never really die. You just pay money to come back. But anyway,
You
in
pay
Pokemon,
Hyperion the funds to come back to life.
yeah. But then you have Pokemon, right? You grind, and you level up so fast in that game. You're leveling up your Pokemon so fast. I didn't even have to grind for very long, and I managed to get it 20 levels higher than the next gym. And I wasn't even doing it for very long. I was able to beat Sword and I was able to beat Shield. If I were to take the time between my training and my free time that I would spend playing that game, I'd probably beat Shield in like 4 hours.
The games are also about that long anyway.
Yeah. I beat it in about 4 hours, and that also includes grinding, right?
Yeah. So I think it's more standard where the story takes place for like maybe 3 hours.
Yeah.
In total.
I didn't grind very long at all, and I just busted through that game. And that's something that I don't like. Even when I grind, the grinding part should have nothing to do with how much faster the game goes. Grinding should make the game last longer. Like the same thing in Borderlands, right? You want this specific weapon? Oh, here's 7 hours of your time wasted trying to get this weapon. And you possibly might not even get it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
What I'm saying is, to make Pokemon a more enjoyable game when it comes to putting even just a little bit of a I don't want to keep saying difficulty or make it harder. I'm just saying, like, to make it feel like, for an average player, like someone who's immediately going to the game, make it feel like you're actually doing something. If you know what I'm saying. Like, I want to feel like I'm actually making progress instead of, oh, I'm overpowered now, and I'm only to the 3rd gym.
So, and this is my rebuttal to that. So, it was I think it was like the first 2, maybe 3 gens that made it a little more difficult for the player. I think since Pokemon's really trying to target more of a children demographic, they want to make it easier for them.
Like, I can understand that argument. I really can. But here's the thing, right? When I was getting into video games when I was younger, if I was able to beat the game very quickly, I would get upset. Why? Because I barely ever had time to play video games anyway. And when I did get the chance to play a video game, and I was like, I like this game. I want this to last a while. Because I'm not very big on replaying games. Because there's not very many games that I have played that I found to have replay value, in my opinion. but I would want a game to last as long as I could get it to go. If I managed to beat a game and I still had all this time left, right? Because I got the PlayStation 2. It was the first game console that I ever got for me personally and my brother. We both started with one game, and that was the Lego Star Wars video game. That game, I swear to God, fucking hate flying missions. But anyway.
Dude, flying missions are a bitch in Lego Star Wars.
Oh my God, I fucking hate them. But that was, see, like, those things there is what made it fun. And I enjoyed it because there was that challenge to it, right? Now, yes, my retarded dumbass can't do inverted fucking flying shit because my brain doesn't work right when it comes to that. So it makes it harder for me. But, like, also, Lego Star Wars, you can die as many fucking times as you want and you still can beat the mission. Which means, you know, Lego, it's fine. It's a kid game. You don't want to make it too difficult. But if a game would go by way too fast for me, I would get upset because I would be like, now I have to replay the game and I have to replay everything that I've already seen because I don't have another game to play afterwards. It was until I started getting more games and I was actually able to play more different things is when I was actually getting more into, like, the story of games more than the gameplay themselves. I can play a game that has absolutely shit gameplay but have a really good story and I'll still have an amazing time with it. Because that's the only thing that matters to me anymore, is the story. Because me being me, I've always wanted to be a writer. I like stories. And being able to experience a brand new story and something that I find entertaining is a lot more important to me. And if I go through that story too quickly, I don't enjoy it as much. I want to be able to soak in everything for as long as I can.
One, you're a dick for interrupting me because I wasn't finished, and you went on like a whole 5-minute tangent. Two.
Okay, fuck you first off.
Two.
Because you go on to tangents for a long ass time.
Well, I was actually going to bring up as to why like the first few generations are a little more difficult, but fuck you. Anyway, two, you're an idiot because Lego games do take forever to play because in order to 100% you have to buy like every vehicle, or at least in Lego Star Wars you have to buy every vehicle, every character. You have
because
to
you're the
complete all
weirdo that
mini
wants to
kids.
100% everything.
Did I say mini kids? You have to complete all the mini kits. And yes, I am that kind of person, but I also feel a sense of accomplishment when it's completed that way.
See, that's the thing
So fuck
for
you.
me. That's the thing for me, right? Lego games, I have no problem replaying through the story to get those mini kits. At least I didn't have a problem with it when I was on the PlayStation, because you know what? We finished the game, all the missions and everything, and we were like, what do we do now? And then my brother's like, let's go for the mini kits, I guess. And it's like, okay, cool, let's go for the mini kits. And that's kind of fun, but it's also time consuming.
It's also a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Because you need like certain characters to do certain things in order to actually acquire those.
Yeah. And the thing with me though, right, was when in the original Lego Star Wars, it got to the point where my brother and I, we got all the mini kits. All the missions were finished. Literally, all I would do in that game until we managed to buy another game was I would pick a character and I literally would just run around outside until I came across people that were willing to fight me, and then I would fight them, win or lose, and then I would just keep doing that for hours. I would just go in circles and fight random fucking characters. It was
All my friend and I did though, when we had that for Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, literally all we did was we sat there and played in the Lego City thing and just destroyed everything with different characters.
Yeah.
That's all we did.
When it comes to Lego, right, I've owned original Lego Star Wars, Lego Star Wars 2, and then didn't own any Lego games on the PlayStation 2 after that. Only the 2 Lego games we ever played on the PlayStation 2. Then we went to the Wii, and we got the Lego Star Wars Clone Wars, and then we got Lego Indiana Jones 1 and 2. I think there was a second one.
No, yeah, there is 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's 2.
Because isn't there like 6? No.
Because there's 4 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first 3 are in the first one, and the fourth one is in the second game. But then you can also kind of kinda play through the first 3 movies in the second game, but they're not as emphasized.
Right.
I think. But, it was that kind of thing. But I kind of got away from collectibles. Because collectibles, from what I understood, from how my experience went, was I would go in, spend all that time and energy trying to get all of these collectibles, and then I wouldn't feel very much accomplishment afterwards. Because personally for me, there wasn't enough reward for the amount of time I was putting in. Now, yes, there are those games where they give you plenty of rewards when you get those collectibles, but most of the time those collectibles take fucking ever to get.
Anyway, so I'm not changing topic because of your fucking tangents. I'm jumping back ship to Pokemon Challenge.
You go fuck yourself.
Anyway, in the first few games, it's actually been a thing where, like, when you battle trainers or wild Pokemon, they're really low level. Because, like, in Gen 1, if you're playing through Red or Blue or Yellow, like, obviously you start with a level 5 Pokemon. And when you grind through routes, it's actually fairly simple. And then the moment you hit fucking the first gym and you fight Brock, he has a level 10 Geodude and a level 12 Onix. Yes, that's correct. He has a level 10 Geodude, level 12 Onix. And really the only way you can kind of breeze through that is if you have Squirtle or Bulbasaur. And then after you beat that gym, it automatically goes back to being like level 7, or not even really level 7, more like level 6, 7 to 8 level Pokemon when you're fighting trainers or even Pokemon on that route. And that's how that was for like Gen 1, 2, and 3, and made it such a pain in the ass. Because like, I did a shitload of grinding in Emerald when I was trying to like Nuzlocke it, and like my party consisted of like 3 level 8s. Then my starter was all the way at level 20 because I needed to beat certain gyms and trainers only because, or rather the first gym, because with the way I was trying to Nuzlocke Emerald, I had to start with Trico. Trico's the grass starter and is probably as useful as beating the first gym leader as Mudkip. Jesus Christ, it took me a minute. But anyway, but all it knows is Absorb. Its only grass type move that it will learn at that moment is Absorb. And it with Trico you kind of have to grind though, only because, or they may. Let me give me just a second. Sorry,
You can tell that this guy really likes Pokemon.
No, I'm just all over the place right now.
No,
so
you can tell.
The reason I had to grind up Trico and actually get it to evolve into Grovyle is because Roxanne has this pain in the ass monster Pokemon at like level 14, and it's a Nose Pass, and it is a difficult Pokemon to destroy when you're trying to Nuzlocke with Trico or Grovyle, and its only grass type move is Absorb. So that's probably the only reason I've really had to like grind and be up there, but it was still a pain in the ass. And so that's why with like our project, I think you'll like being able to Nuzlocke, but in those previous games, it might be a real pain in the ass for you. Ow. Anyway, so, and even if you wanted to, like after Gen 6, to make it a little more fair, we could even turn that whole experience share off and try and make it as challenging as possible.
See, that's something that I'd probably be interested in, trying to add as much challenge to it as I could. Let's stray away from Pokemon for a bit, because we literally have probably been talking about it for a solid 30 minutes, and that's a lot of Pokemon.
20 to 30.
No, literally we're at 44 minutes. And we started talking about Pokemon like maybe 15 minutes in probably. So we've been talking about it for quite a bit. But we want to try and add at least a variety of conversations into this. And who cares if it goes over an hour? Let's try and get as much in here as we can.
Nah, man. Fuck that. Fucking Episode 3 is just gonna be about Pokemon and Pokemon Day.
Yeah, fuck. Fine.
Because why not? It's coming up.
I mean,
and we're trying to get all this uploaded, and like, I don't want to make it a big deal just because I feel that it's kind of dumb that it's a thing, but I also kind of like want to hype up Pokemon Day because it's astonishing that that's really even like a holiday / not holiday, because like they're just celebrating the anniversary of Pokemon, especially since it's made it 25 years.
Yeah, 25 years. How many years has The Simpsons been a thing?
Dude, forever.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that show came out before I was born.
It came out before we were born.
Yeah.
I think it started in like 1980 something.
Yeah, like
1983.
when our parents were like teenagers.
Yeah.
Like, damn. You want to know something that's kind of been freaking me out though, just thinking about that? At work. When I first started at work, right, I wouldn't think that a person born in 1990 was 30 years old.
Dude.
And then I go and look at their ID. They don't look 30 years old, but based on their ID, it says they're 30 years old. Oh my god. I'm 10 years away from being 30.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about that.
Dude, neither do I, but like, we were born in, well, you 2000, me 2001, and like, yeah, that's gonna be, I can hear her chewing, and it's disturbing me.
Yes.
Fucking, fuck, this isn't an ASMR channel.
These mics are so good, I love it.
Dude, and that's why I wanted a Yeti. It was just because that's whenever we needed to do voiceover, that's all Lance had at his disposal, and that was like Yeti snowballs.
Yeah, and those were good. Honestly, I was really contemplating getting a Yeti snowball, but they only had white ones.
It makes sense though.
Yeah,
it's
it makes sense.
Snowball.
Yeah, I know it makes sense, but it's also like my entire setup is black. My computer is black. Each of my monitors is black. My fucking PlayStation 4 is black and silver. So I wanted to keep with that trend. I don't like when things are mismatched like that because it kind of drives my OCD crazy. So
I could care less.
Yeah, like for me, I was like, I need something that matches. Now this mic, it doesn't really match that much because it's kind of like, it's a gray, but it's kind of got like kind of a bluish tint to it. But I mean, it still matches relatively well.
That's why you should have just gone on the website. Like, you can order it in any color you want.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. We've been able to do this with 2 mics this soon after me buying this mic.
I mean, yeah.
So
it probably would have also been cheaper though to buy like one of these off the website, especially in black.
Yeah, it probably would have been a lot cheaper instead of like $140, then plus tax. Ew.
Yeah, see, now on the website it's probably about like $10 cheaper for this, but it's still worth it.
Yeah. If I would have been able to find something that I actually wanted online, which is why I mostly shop online, but you know, shipping and people lose things, and I've seen those videos of delivery people where they will take a package and just chuck it around, not give a flying fuck.
That's why Amazon's the best.
Yeah. No, I remember watching this one video and this dude, he's literally playing soccer ball with a package all the way up to the fucking door and then he places it there. And you can literally see on the package it says, fragile. It's like, are you fucking serious? How much money do you think that person just spent for you to destroy it?
Fucking. So, the same guy, like that TikTok you showed me, that same guy did a bit. It's where like fucking, he does Amazon first, and he carefully walks the package up to the door, sets it there, and practically like makes sure the box isn't like dirty or anything. And then he does FedEx. The FedEx guy fucking just tosses it at the door. The UPS guy fucking throws the package at the door, and then walks up to the door, takes a hammer, and practically bashes through the glass of the screen door. And it was fucking great.
See, this is one thing that makes me happy, right? Vine disappeared. But then musically, that fucking dumpster fire of an app decided to change itself to TikTok, and then it basically introduced more people being able to like basically make it another Vine, and that's something I love. Now, yeah, you do have those musically videos. You got those fucking like 5-year-old girls dancing in front of the camera trying to look hot for some fucking reason, which people are evolving too fast.
No, it's just the fucking internet is making people do shit that they shouldn't be doing.
as a society, as people in general, we are becoming more accustomed to like sexual things, and that isn't okay, in my personal opinion. Because if I see a 5-year-old girl twerking,
I'm gonna vomit.
Yeah, I'm gonna vomit. I don't want to see that. Ever.
I'm also just gonna get pissed off because I'm a parent now, and like if I were to, I'd lose my shit if I were to ever catch my daughter doing something like that, and it's mainly just because like the way society and the internet works is we men kind of like, just because we're garbage, and anyone who thinks I'm being a dick, well, you can all suck mine, because really we try to like idolize, or not even really idolize, but we're trying, fuck, how did I forget the word?
Just go ahead and explain, and then the word will come to you.
Well, we discriminate others for their image, and we practically then objectify women that are good looking and attractive, no doubt, but then it becomes too much of a norm, and then children start seeing it and they're like, wow, that's kind of cool, I want to do something like that. And then it's also kind of the seed that those kind of figures plant into the minds of said children.
Yep.
And that's just because women are garbage too, and they have this fucking thing in their brain that tells them, I'm going to put down someone who I feel is not at my level. And we men are like that too. That's why we're garbage.
Every human is like that. We all discriminate against everyone. We all have something to say about someone or something. It's how everyone's mind works, right? Like, for example, right, if I go to Walmart, do I personally want to see someone have a camel toe and having their ass suck up their pants at the exact same time? No, I don't really want to see that. But there's definitely those guys that will be like, oh, hell yeah, you know? Everyone has their different opinions and how they think things should go. That's why, if I ever have a child, I'm not going to let them have any form of electronics until about the age I had an electronic device. I didn't get my first phone, and it was a flip phone, until I was 12 years old. Okay? And that was when smartphones were becoming a thing.
Jesus Christ, you're old.
Dude. I had right? That flip phone, right? You couldn't do jack on it except call people and text. That's also why I really like texting, because I could barely ever hear people over the phone on that piece of shit. So that's why I texted everybody, so I could actually talk to someone and get a good conversation. But anyway, I'm going to be that kind of parent. I'm not going to be one of those parents that, oh, you're 5 years old? Here's a fucking $3,000 iPad. You fucking dumbass. Don't do that. You're the reason we have kids twerking their butt and having sex in elementary school.
It's because of your dumbass.
It's because people like that are doing shit like that. Stop it. You're causing the problem. Why did we get on this tangent?
I have no fucking clue. I'm getting off of it because Jasmine's giving us weird looks. And I'm sure she wants to put in her 2 cents, but she didn't agree to come on this episode, so...
No, literally, the fucking articles that I've seen about kids trying to have sex in elementary school bathrooms. There's too many of those. Way too many. Oh my god.
It's definitely the internet. We need to destroy the internet.
No, you want to know something? When I started realizing that I wanted to, like, I was interested in opposite genders and I was interested in other people, right? You know what my first response was?
Cool.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's cool. All right. Well, I like this person. I'll go try and talk to him and see how far I can go with it, right? In elementary school, you know what my goal was in a relationship? To
Make it
hold
last.
hands. That was it. Hold hands. And now I'm 20 years old, and for some godforsaken reason, you want to know what my end goal is in a relationship? To find someone that doesn't want to cheat on me every second of every fucking day. That's my goal. Because there's shit people out there. Anyway.
You think people don't know that?
Well, I figured I'd let them know anyway, just in case that they've been living under a rock. But no, right?
Yeah.
Like, it got to the point where it was like, I think I was going into 2nd grade, and I still didn't know what female genitalia was, right? I didn't know the difference between the genitalia that a man and a woman would have. And I personally think that's a good direction to take. But at the time, my parents had finally bought this really old Windows XP desktop computer that surprisingly was able to play Spider-Man 2 on it. I don't even know how. But anyway, we had that little computer, and I was like, I wonder what a woman looks like naked. It's my first thought. So I was like, I looked it up, and I was like, wow, what the fuck am I looking at?
You're looking at hamburger meat, bud.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was like, huh?
By the way, have fun with that because you just fucked up putting your elbow on the table.
Yeah, I did. But no, I was like, what the fuck? And now that I'm at the age that I am, it makes sense. But at that age, I was disgusted. And
Dude, I would be too.
I was like, what is that?
Actually, I think I was when I first figured out what pub websites were. Because I'm not going to say that on this podcast, but when I first figured out what those were and I finally saw that, I'm like, no. Just fuck that.
Yeah, no, like natural progression of puberty and the interest in sex, that comes with time. And the time is going by way too fast if you're thinking about having intercourse with another individual while you're in elementary school. That's way too fast. And then there's those girls that think that, oh, this was a good financial choice for my life and mental sanity to have a child at 14 years old. That's a good choice. Yes. Oh yeah.
Dude, the generations before us are just fucked.
Dude. Like you wanna know something? My mother really wanted to have children all of her life, right? But she had the common self-respect to wait until she was financially stable enough and actually mentally stable enough to have a kid. Now, yes, my brother and I were accidents. But
that took a dark turn.
But she wasn't out there having sex in high school trying to get knocked up. Unlike the current generation of Zoomers.
Way to switch that up there, bud.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, that's why being a parent now, at least when you're someone my age, that's a little terrifying.
Yeah. See, like, I commemorate you for having a kid at your age. I really do. It probably takes a really strong person to be able to do that. Because taking care of a kid isn't easy. And it never will be. Especially when you have to take care of them for an upwards of 18 to potentially 30 years. Because there are those people that like to stay at their parents' house and not pay rent and basically sit on the computer all day until they're 30 and get fat and die. But, you know.
Or you have those guys that that move into this new house with their family and try and get into content creation, but they're also lazy pieces of shit, and they let their room accumulate a mess and refuse to clean it for 14 years.
Yep.
I saw a clip of that, and that was disturbing. Like, he had randomly found a bag of chips that was sitting near his desk that had been sitting there for 4 years.
Okay. This reminds me of this one lady on YouTube where people will pay her to record her cleaning their house. Okay? Some of the houses or some of the apartments that this woman goes to clean make me want to commit mass genocide. How in God's name do you manage to get shit, literal human feces, on your ceiling?
It's easy. You raise a fucking family of monkeys.
How the fuck do you do that?
It's
this
simple.
Single man lives in this apartment by himself. You want to know the only clean thing, and it's not even that clean, that he had in that entire fucking apartment? It was his fucking chair that he sat in. Everything else around him, absolute fucking mess. He had a cigarette tray next to his chair.
An ashtray.
Thank you. An ashtray next to his chair. You had, let's say, maybe 4 years worth of cigarette ash and butts stacked high on this ashtray. You go into his bathroom, walls, ceiling, smeared in shit. The shower. It's a walk-in shower, no tub. That thing, moldy as fuck. Literally, you step on that floor, you're stepping on a carpet.
A carpet of mold.
How the fuck do you let yourself go that far? And then you got that fucking woman on Strange Addictions who fucking hoards human shit. How are people like this? How do people do that?
Actually, it's very simple, and, you know, this isn't an invitation or a suggestion to do it, but it's actually been proven that for people to kind of get high, they huff on their own fumes. So that's probably why she's addicted to hoarding human shit.
No, you want to know in the actual video, from how I understood it, the reason she hoarded shit was because her mother hoarded shit. So she started hoarding shit. And literally, she would go to the bathroom in a bucket. She wouldn't even use the toilet. She would take a shit and take a piss in a bucket. And then once that bucket got full, she would then take it outside and dump it out in her lawn. Wouldn't even clean it out. She would just go back inside and start the process over again. Then you got those cheapskates, right? Like, those videos of people who are, like... I watched this video today before I went to work of this dude who is such a cheapskate that he'll piss and shit in this toilet that he shares with 2 other men, and he will not allow them to flush the toilet for a week.
Fuck?
But he doesn't even flush the toilet. You want to know what he does? He takes a shower with his clothes on, okay? Then he puts a bucket in the shower so that the bucket collects all of the water that runs off his body. Then he takes that bucket and he dumps it into the toilet. And in most toilets, you add extra water to the bowl, it will automatically flush the toilet without you ever actually flushing the toilet. So he'll just pour that bucket of water into the toilet, and then it would just flush everything back down into the pipes. And then he would then have this water there. And that would not use up any of the water through the toilet.
Okay, I understand trying to save money so you don't have to pay a shitload of money for a water bill. But if you have 3 men living together, you'd think they'd all split the fucking bill and come to that mutual agreement as adults.
You want to know what's fucked up about that situation? Okay? He's a Zumba instructor.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay? One of the people that he teaches Zumba to, her grandmother died, and they didn't have anything they didn't know what to do with the house. So they let him live in that house rent-free, and then he charges rent to his 2 roommates. But he lives there for free. What kind of sack of shit does that?
Me?
I mean, I guess, but like,
all right.
What the fuck?
We're at an hour and 6 minutes, and now I need to process what the fuck we just talked about. So, well, we're the rogue assassin rippers. Yeah, I honestly forgot. And another episode of podcast done. So yeah.